I've maxed out my Roth IRA for 10 consecutive years, not by picking hot individual stocks, not by timing the market, and not by constantly trading in and out of my positions. Just a couple strategic ETFs, tax-free compounding, and patience. But here's what most people don't understand about Roth IRAs. Every dollar that grows inside this account is 100% tax-free forever. So you could start with $100, watch it grow to $100,000, and you would pay no taxes on that $99,900 gain. You could also build a $50,000 per year dividend check, completely tax-free. And you could pass that cash flowing machine on to your kids or a charity after you pass away. And as someone who's built a multi six figure portfolio from nothing with no prior investing knowledge and no expensive financial advisor, I can tell you this. The one thing that's helped build my wealth more than anything else is nailing my Roth IRA strategy. So let's talk about why your Roth IRA changes everything. So before we dive into specific ETFs, we need to understand why the Roth is so powerful in the first place. And I know my light went out, but we're just going to go with it. So in a traditional IRA or 401k, as well as a regular taxable brokerage account, dividends are taxed every single year, regardless of whether or not you reinvest them automatically. And that tax drag slowly erodes your wealth over the decades. In a Roth IRA, there are no taxes on dividends ever, no taxes on capital gains ever, and no taxes on withdrawals ever, as long as you're older than 59 and a half. So this is the closest thing to a legal tax hack in the US tax code that we can get. And if you're building a dividend-focused portfolio, the Roth can amplify your results exponentially. So let me show you 5 options of ETFs that you can hold in a Roth IRA forever. The first ETF is one that I don't personally invest in, but a lot of people do if they think that finance is just too overwhelming or too complicated, and that is target date funds. So my mom is one of those people. She is 64. She was never taught anything about investing or the stock market. And at her age, she just thinks that this whole thing is too overwhelming. And you know what? That is okay. Because when you invest in an ETF, it's like a one-stop shop. It's like taking your car to the mechanic. You don't know who's the best at oil changes versus transmission repairs versus tire changes. You just want a one-stop shop that handles everything for you. In the investing world, ETFs and index funds are this shop, specifically target date funds, because they do all the reallocation for you by starting out more aggressive the younger you are and then slowly changing over to more conservative as you get closer and closer to the day you want to retire. You don't do anything, the fund does it all for you. Let's say you want to retire in 35 years. You would choose a 2060 fund. Right now, it would be roughly 90% stocks, US and international, and 10% bonds, because you want to get that maximum growth potential while you're young. But as we get closer to 2060, the fund automatically reduces your stock exposure and increases your bond exposure. By retirement, maybe it's 40% stocks so that you're still getting some growth, but 60% bonds so that you're preserving the wealth that you created. It becomes way less risky when you actually need the money. You can find these at Fidelity. They're called Freedom Funds over there. If you're with Vanguard, they're called Target Retirement Funds. And if you're with Charles Schwab, they're simply called Target Date Funds. These are great for people, again, who want zero involvement in their investments. You pick one, you set up automatic recurring investments, and you forget it for 20 or 30 years. You're already diversified across thousands of different companies, and it automatically rebalances for you without you having to lift a finger. Now, I don't like these because they have lower potential upside compared to a portfolio that you have more control over. And you're also paying for convenience in the form of higher expense ratios and slightly lower returns. And here's the thing, most people don't even know it, but they already have a target date fund within their 401k. That's usually the default. So if you roll your 401k over into a Roth IRA, you can keep it in the target date fund, or you can switch it to the next 4 ETFs that I'm about to show you that I personally prefer over a target date fund. If you're someone who loves more control and potentially higher returns, definitely keep watching. And if you're brand new to investing and don't know where to start, I do have a 30-day quick start investing checklist. It's completely free. You can find that in the description below. It will take you from I have no idea where to start to I am an investor all by day 9. Now, the second ETF is the foundational fund. So this should make up around 40% of your portfolio and should be invested in a broad fund that tracks the S&P 500. So if I could only hold one fund for the rest of my life, this would be it. The S&P 500 has survived the Great Depression, the dot-com bubble of the early 2000s, the 2008 Great Recession, and the 2020 COVID crash. And it just keeps growing. Over the life of the US stock market, this index has consistently returned on average 10% annually. That's the kind of wealth building power that I like to depend on. My top picks for this one would be VOO, SPYM, which was formerly SPLG, or SPY. Or if you prefer a mutual fund version, depending on your brokerage, you can look at FXAIX if you're with Fidelity, SWPPX from Schwab, and BFIAX from Vanguard. They're all basically identical. The idea, though, is just pick one. You don't want to pick multiples because that's like taking your car for an oil change twice in one day. Just make sure whichever one you pick, the expense ratios are below 0.1%. And this becomes your foundation because it gives you exposure to the top 500 performing companies in the United States. Think Apple, Microsoft, Tesla, Amazon, Google, NVIDIA, all in one fund. And again, it's historically proven to generate long-term returns. Third ETF is your tax-free paycheck machine, otherwise known as a dividend ETF, and this should make up around 30% of your portfolio, depending on your age. This is where the Roth IRA becomes absolutely magical. Dividend stocks are cool in a taxable account, and I have them in my own, but you do pay taxes on those every single year, whether you reinvest them or not. In a Roth, those dividends that you either get paid out in cash or get reinvested, they are completely tax-free. You're building a passive income machine that generates cash flow forever without paying a single dime to Uncle Sam. So let me show you the numbers. Say you have $1 million in a dividend fund that's generating 4% annually, $40,000 per year in dividends. In a taxable account, you would pay roughly $6,000 to $9,600 a year, depending on your income tax bracket. But in a Roth, you get to keep that entire $40,000 tax-free forever. And here's the best part. You never have to touch or sell the principal if you don't want to. So that $1 million stays intact, keeps compounding over time, and can provide generational wealth. That's a win-win-win in my book. My favorite dividend ETF of all time is SCHD from Charles Schwab. Alternatives you can look at are VTV, BYM, BIG, and DGRO. ETF number 4 is your wildcard position, and this should make up about 10 to 20% of your portfolio. It should be extra safe or extra aggressive, you pick. This is where you get to customize based on your own personality and your own level of risk tolerance. Do you want to be more conservative and safe, or do you want to be more aggressive and have more potential upside? Option A would be to go the conservative route. And in this case, you need something close to cash, which in the stock market would be bonds. Most people default to Vanguard's BND. However, I don't personally love it because it's down 15% over the last 5 years, and that's not something that I would necessarily consider safe. My current favorite is SGOV, which is the iShares 0 to 3 month Treasury ETF. This is a short-term Treasury fund that's way more stable than BND, generates a decent dividend yield, and doesn't drop dramatically when interest rates change. Option B would be to go more aggressive. So if you want higher growth potential, you need to look at things that are outside of the normal asset classes that we think of in the stock market. If you want to go into crypto, that's fine. I'm not a crypto investor. If I'm going more aggressive, I prefer to go into the AI and tech sectors and or REITs or real estate investment trusts. My personal picks, if you want to go with an ETF that is in the tech and AI sector, would be VGT from Vanguard. This is their information technology ETF. It's pure tech exposure, which often means more aggressive growth. But other options can include SMH, or if you want to go the REIT route, then you could look at something like O or VICI. The most important thing with this position is that it should be something that is more aggressive or more safe than anything else in your portfolio. And it's also something that you need to heavily research yourself before jumping in. Never blindly take advice from anybody without doing your own research and due diligence. If the rest of your portfolio is more in the moderate risk category, then your wild card should pull you to the higher upside or more safety, just not more of the same thing. The last ETF would be your growth accelerator. This should be around 20% of your portfolio and should be invested in a broad growth fund. So it's not as aggressive as, say, crypto or REITs or anything that you picked in your wildcard position, but you do want companies that outperform the S&P 500, still give you broad diversification across multiple sectors. So my top picks for this would be VUG, QQQM, or SCHG. And why would you want to have this as around 20% of your portfolio? Well, because you want meaningful growth exposure without the sleepless nights that come with more concentrated sector bets. If I was starting over completely from scratch today, here's what my Roth IRA portfolio would look like. I would do 30% SCHD for dividends and passive income, 25% BOO, that would be my foundational ETF, 20% VUG or SCHG for growth acceleration. My 15% wild card, I would probably pick a REIT, especially in a Roth IRA where those higher dividend yields are still going to be tax-free. So I would go with O or VICI, and then 10% into whatever else I wanted to invest in. So this could be your individual stocks or another ETF altogether. This gives you exposure to thousands of companies globally, a mix of dividend income and capital appreciation, both conservative stability and aggressive growth, as well as tax-free compounding on everything. So again, if you're just getting started and want more help in terms of what to do when and have one task per day to your investments so that you do not get overwhelmed, check out that free 30-day quick start investing checklist. It's linked in the description below this video as well as in the pinned comment. Why does starting now matter so much more than how much you invest? Let me show you the math that changed my whole perspective on this. Scenario one is that you start today and you contribute $500 a month for the next 30 years into this allocated portfolio that we just created. You get an average return of 10%. As a result, over those 30 years, you would generate a portfolio of $1.13 million. Now, let's say scenario number two, you decide not to jump in and you want to wait 10 years. You contribute that same $500 a month, but you have less time, so you do it for 20 years. And you get that same 10% return. Your portfolio result is going to be $375,000. By waiting just 10 years, you are losing over $750,000. That's the brutal truth about compounding. Time in the market absolutely destroys trying to time the market. So the best time to start was 10 years ago. The second best time to start is today. So here's your step-by-step action plan for building your Roth IRA, otherwise known as your tax-free wealth machine. Step one is to open a Roth IRA account. You can choose a brokerage. My personal favorite is Fidelity. I am not sponsored by them. I simply personally use them and love their platform, but other reputable ones include Vanguard and Charles Schwab. All three are solid. You can't go wrong. Just pick one. Step two is to set up automatic monthly contributions. Don't rely on willpower. It doesn't work, just automate it. Start with whatever you can afford, even if that's $50 a month split between the percentages that we talked about. It's still better than not investing at all. Step three is to buy the ETFs that you decided on in the target allocation. So don't overcomplicate it. If you're investing $100, that would be $30 into SCHG, $25 into VOO, $20 into VUG, $15 into O or VICI, and then $10 into whatever else you want. Step four is to not check it constantly. Seriously, checking it daily will drive you absolutely insane, tempt you to make emotional decisions that get investors into trouble. Check it quarterly at most, preferably every 6 months to a year. And then step five is to increase those contributions as you earn more. Got a raise? Bump up those automatic investments by 50% of your raise. Your lifestyle still improves, but your wealth continues to grow exponentially. That's the simple truth about Roth IRAs. You don't need 47 different stocks or ETFs. You don't need to trade constantly or chase the next hot pick. And you don't need perfect timing or complex strategies. You need 4 to 5 solid ETFs, consistent contributions, and the discipline to just let time and compounding do its thing. Start today, even if it's just $10. Open your Roth IRA, set up the automatic contributions, pick the ETFs that you've researched, and then get back to living your life while your money compounds tax-free forever. Trust me, your future self will thank you. And now that you know what type of ETFs to invest in, you might be wondering, well, how do I actually research those to see which one is right for me? Well, it all starts by watching this video on your screen now, because when you combine that with what you just learned, it becomes way more powerful. See you in the next video.